Today let's try to talk about Bankim Chandra Chatterjee and try to understand his role in Bangla literature. Now we know that Bankim Chandra Chatterjee was known as the Sahitya Samrat of Bangla literature, and he is an irreplaceable figure in what he did in Bangla novel. He was mainly known for his novels. Now he, in his personal life, was a deputy magistrate. He was a literary figure. He had his own newspaper, and in terms of his writing style, we see that his novels mainly deal with the social problems, the problems that we see in the society. Like life in general was his topic of writing. Now, in order to understand what he tried to, his writing style, we can compare him with some of his temporary writers. One thing I have understood in my experience of studying literature is that in order to understand a writer, comparing that writer with his contemporaries or comparing the writer with writers of other age is very important. And when we do the comparisons, the qualities of the writer becomes clear. Now, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee was a writer of the 19th century. He was born in 1837, maybe 38. And if we see that Michael Madhusudan Dotto was born in 1824, so in comparison, they were contemporary. Another name I can mention here is that Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He was born in 1820, so he was also his contemporary. Now, when we look at the writing style of Michael Madhusudan Dotto or Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Michael Madhusudan Dotto and Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, they differ in their writing a lot. Madhusudan Dotto wrote things in his own style, and Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, he had his own thing going on, and Bankim Chandra Chatterjee was something completely different. When we look at Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, we see that he was inspired by English literature. He did translations. He had his own writings, and he not just translated English works, but he also was inspired by Hindi works. We see his book Betal Panchabinshati. It was translated from a Hindi book. He had his own writing style. He had his original books, but translation was something that he did. In terms of Michael Madhusudan Dotto, he, as we know that during his beginning years, he tried to write literature in English, but as time progressed, he grew admiration for his own mother tongue, and that's how he had a different journey of life, and his literature even reflects that. But when Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, we talk about Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, he was different from these two writers, and he, from the beginning, I guess, focused on the life he saw around everyone. I mean, around his surroundings. Now, the first he wrote the novel Rajmohan's Wife, and Rajmohan's Wife is considered as the first English novel written by an Indian. Now, that was also something that he tried to write in English. Another thing I did not know about Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay was that the national song of India, Bande Mataram, he wrote that song in his novel. I forgot the name of the novel. I should have remembered it, but I forgot it now. In one of his novels, he wrote that song. That novel, I can remember that it was about the Swadeshi Andolan, and the song reflects uh, the ideology of the revolutionaries then. Another thing, if we compare Bankim Chandra with Muslim writers like Mir Musharraf Hossain, Mir Musharraf Hossain was also his contemporary in some sense. Musharraf Hossain was born in 1847, but in Musharraf Hossain's writing we see that there is a big influence of the Middle Eastern culture, Middle Eastern literature. Being a Muslim, he was influenced by the Muslim culture also. He also wrote about his society, but this was an influence we do not see in Hindu writers. Another thing is that if we want to compare Rabindranath Tagore as his contemporary, I guess we can to compare him with as I guess we can compare Rabindranath as Bankim Chandra's contemporary to some extent. We see that Rabindranath was born in 1861. So, and because Rabindranath started writing literature at an early age, so now Rabindranath is Rabindranath. He was totally a different thing from Bankim Chandra. But the thing we see in Rabindranath's writing is that he focused on life, and he focused on the life that he saw around him. He wasn't really influenced by the English literature, I guess, towards the beginning of his writing career. He was hardly influenced by Middle Eastern or Islamic ideologies, because being in the Hindu society, he focused on his religion or the Hindu society that he was surrounded by. So that is something we can say about Bankim, is that he was mainly focused on writing things about the the life of that time, and and sometimes the political struggles of that time he wrote about in his novels. So that is all for now, I guess. Bye.